Hello, everybody. This is going to be my 2024 election prediction if it was Kamala Harris versus Ron Desantis. So let's just open up with the safe states, which are going to be setting up right now. This is an interesting matchup, I would say. It's very competitive. Probably could be one of the most competitive matchups. But I do feel like there's a more competitive matchup later on in this video series we'll tackle. But this is just my election prediction as of like August, so it could change. I'll probably like make these like every 2 months or something. So yeah. What else do we need? I do feel like we touched all the safe states. Okay, so we're gonna go into likely states. Texas, I feel, will remain likely in the Ron DeSantis column. He just has good appeal in the South, and that will really help him just get over the 5-point edge here in Texas. I feel like Texas is moving to the left every election, but Kamala Harris is deeply unpopular, especially in this state. Definitely with a negative approval rating, that's not going to help you in the state. It's not going to be liberal then in the 2024 election if Kamala Harris is the candidate. So, next state, Florida. It's Ron DeSantis' home state. They love him here, and I feel like he would win by a likely margin over Harris just because of home state advantage. I mean, there's nothing more to say. He's just popular in this state. Very popular. Next state would be Ohio for Ron DeSantis. Yeah, Ron DeSantis is getting all these wins right here, but yeah. In Ohio, it's always been a likely Republican state these past two election cycles. I feel like it's going to be probably the same. It could even go to a safe state if it gets over 10 points, but I'm going to be safe and rate as likely. I feel like it would stay within that margin. Next state would be Iowa, another win for Ron DeSantis. Iowa, it also has been in the likely margin, same as Ohio. I mean, they're really similar with their demographics, but Iowa is a little bit wider of a state than Ohio is, and it's also more rural than Ohio, but I feel like Iowa will stay in this likely margin for now. All right, next state for the Democrats I'm going to be doing, New Mexico. Yeah, believe it or not, I feel like New Mexico is going to slowly move to the right over these next few years, just slightly, ever so slightly. Last election we saw Colorado be more Democratic than New Mexico. I feel like that trend will probably continue for this state. Next state would be Virginia. Yeah, I know, it's surprising to put this at safe over 10 points. I feel like just because of Harris's unpopularity, it would really sink her in this state especially. Because their governor's race coming up this year in Virginia, it's going to be within like around 5 points. I feel like Harris is unpopular enough that she won't win the state by over 10, and I feel like Ron DeSantis is such a good candidate that he could really make some gains here in this state, possibly. We'll have to see. Yeah, I think that's all the likely states for now. Let's go into leans. Nevada, I feel like will just be in that lean margin territory for Harris, just because of the Las Vegas area, and I feel like Republicans always come close to winning this, but never do. I don't think Ron DeSantis is the candidate to make Nevada like flip or anything to the Republican side. There'll have to be a lot done for that to happen. Next state would have to be, I would say Harris would definitely carry Minnesota, but by a smaller margin than Joe Biden. I feel like Harris's unpopularity, especially in the Rust Belt, will really hurt her in this region. So I don't feel like that's good for Harris at all. Next state is a Republican flip. Wisconsin will be won by Ron DeSantis by like a lean margin. Wisconsin's just becoming, it is trending towards the right. The rural areas in Wisconsin are nearly maxed out, you could argue, but I feel like there's always room to grow for Republicans here. They could just keep flipping these areas, and like Democrats usually get depressing turnout in the Milwaukee area, and I feel like that would continue if Harris is a candidate. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it. Next state would be North Carolina. I feel like since DeSantis is from Florida, in like the South, it would help him here in this state because it's close to Florida. I feel like it would help him carry it for sure. And he appeals well there as well in the Sun Belt. So, yeah. Next state would be New Hampshire. I feel like it would stay with Harris here because Ron DeSantis can be viewed as pretty far to the right, and New Hampshire really just likes the moderates, and it's sort of center left, you could argue, in my opinion. That's just my 2 cents on it. Next state would be Maine. I would say it'll be in a lean margin for Harris, sort of like New Hampshire. But Maine's second district will be won by DeSantis by a likely margin, just because the rural area there, he has good rural support, sort of like Trump, and I feel like we carry it by that big of a margin. Next state I'm going to do would be Georgia. I feel like it'd be remain in the Democratic column just because the Atlanta area is still growing like crazy and it's getting a lot of new people moving there. I feel like it would stay around that margin. Next state would have to be Pennsylvania. Yep, that's crazy. DeSantis is that close to winning now. I feel like he would flip it by a tilt margin. Only because he's not really from that geographic area, and I'm not sure if he has the same appeal as Trump, especially in this state, because it's next to New York, New Jersey, and Maryland. You just hate Trump so much and Republicans so much that I feel like it would give a big urban turnout for Harris, but I feel like Ron DeSantis could carry the state against Harris just because of her unpopularity. Next state would be Arizona, would be by a tilt margin. I feel like DeSantis doesn't have that toxic brand that Trump has in the state of Arizona, and I feel like he could carry it against Harris because of our unpopularity here. The final state would be Michigan, and I'm going to say that DeSantis would win this state as well against Harris. He would carry it just because of her unpopularity, that and that alone. Unless she fixes her popularity, she won't win this state. And I forgot Nebraska's second district, and that would probably won by Harris, just by a lean margin, because it is an urban area after all. So she does perform well there. But that's my election prediction. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks you so much for watching, guys.